Owen Hart. It was May 23rd, 1999, Kansas City, Missouri. Inside the Kemper Arena, over 16,000 fans gathered for WWE's Over the Edge pay-per-view event. The crowd was loud, the lights blinding, and the air electric. That night, Owen Hart was set to make his entrance as his comedic alter ego, the Blue Blazer, a spoof superhero character known for over-the-top theatrics. To make the moment bigger, producers planned a spectacle. Owen would be lowered from the rafters by harness and cable, descending dramatically into the ring. It wasn't the first time he'd done it. The crowd expected the usual stunt. Backstage, he adjusted his mask and stepped onto the platform high above the arena. The lights dimmed, the crowd roared, and the crew prepared the rigging for his entrance. Then something went wrong. As Owen waited for his cue, the release harness malfunctioned. When he stepped forward, it triggered too soon. He fell 78 feet, straight to the ring below. The severe impact severed his aorta. Commentator Jim Ross told viewers at home, "This is not part of the entertainment tonight. This is a real situation." Medical personnel rushed to the ring as the crowd waited in silence, many unsure whether it was real or part of the show. It wasn't. Owen Hart was pronounced dead minutes later at a nearby hospital. He was just 34 years old. In the years that followed, investigations revealed that the harness clip used for the stunt wasn't rated for a human load, designed instead for small sailboats, not people. The wrestling world never forgot. A moment meant to entertain ended in tragedy, broadcast live to millions. Shigetoshi Kotari and Hiromasa Urakawa. It was the night of August 2nd, 2025. Inside Tokyo's Korakuen Hall, the air was alive with energy, gloves snapping, lights blazing, and fans eager to witness history. In the ring stood Shigetoshi Kotari, a 28-year-old rising star from Nagoya. Across from him was Yamato Hata, the man he'd face in the biggest fight of his life, for the OPBF Super Featherweight title. The bell rang, and 12 brutal rounds followed. Kotari fought with precision and heart, matching every punch with one of his own. Sweat turned to blood, the crowd roaring with every exchange. When the final bell sounded, the fight was declared a draw. Kotari hadn't won the title, but he'd proven his skill to everyone watching. Kotari smiled, bowed to the crowd as his team congratulated him. Moments later, everything changed. As he sat down, his expression faded. His body suddenly went limp, collapsing onto the stool as the crowd looked on in silence. Paramedics rushed in and carried him out of the arena, knowing something went horribly wrong. At the hospital, doctors found a severe brain bleed, a subdural hematoma. He underwent emergency surgery, but never woke up. 6 days later, Shigetoshi Kotari was pronounced dead. He was only 28. But the tragedy didn't end there. On the very same fight card, another boxer, Hiromasa Urakawa, collapsed during his own match earlier that night. He, too, suffered a fatal brain injury. 2 fighters, 2 promising careers, 2 lives lost in a single evening. The news sent shockwaves through the boxing world. The Japan Boxing Commission immediately suspended all events, launching a full review of safety regulations to ensure this tragedy never happens again. 2 warriors stepped into the ring that night, chasing their dreams. Neither would leave the arena alive. Adam Johnson. It was October 28th, 2023, Sheffield, England. Inside the Utilita Arena, over 8,000 fans filled the stands for a regular season matchup between the Nottingham Panthers and the Sheffield Steelers. The energy was high, the rink bright under the lights, and on the ice, Adam Johnson, a seasoned 29-year-old forward from Minnesota. He played in the NHL, scored for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and now brought that same quiet confidence to the European leagues. For him, it was just another night, another game. Midway through the second period, the puck dropped at the center ice. The Steelers charged forward. Johnson skated into play, fast, smooth, focused. The crowd cheered as players clashed along the boards. Bodies collided, sticks tangled as the 2 teams fought for the puck. Then, in a single moment, it all went wrong. As Johnson crossed the blue line, an opposing player body-checked one of his teammates. Their legs tangled in midair, and the skate blade flew upward. It sliced Adam in the neck. He stumbled, clutching his throat as the crowd fell silent. Teammates rushed to him, waving for help. Trainers and medics sprinted onto the ice, desperately trying to stop the bleeding. Spectators were asked to leave as emergency crews worked for minutes that felt like hours. Johnson was rushed to Sheffield Northern General Hospital, but the injury was too severe. He was pronounced dead shortly after. The hockey world was stunned. Leagues across Europe and North America began reviewing safety protocols, many introducing mandatory neck guards to protect players in the future. Adam Johnson's death became a chilling reminder of the risks that live beneath the surface of every sport. A routine play, a player in the wrong place at the wrong time, a night hockey will never forget. Margot Simond. It was the morning of April 24, 2025. High in the French Alps, the slope of Val d'Isère glistened under the spring sun. The air was sharp, the snow packed firm, perfect conditions for training. Among the group of young skiers stood Margot Simond, just 18 years old, a French junior champion, fresh off winning the U18 slalom title. Calm, focused, and fearless, she was the kind of athlete coaches called a natural. That morning, she was training for the Red Bull Alpine Park, a demanding course that mixed speed with precision. She adjusted her goggles, exhaled slowly, and pushed off from the start gate. Her opening turns were clean, speeding down the mountain with control and grace. Every move looked effortless, almost like she was doing this in her sleep. But on the final corner, something horrible happened. Margot's ski clipped a fragment of ice. In an instant, her body pitched forward, tumbling violently down the slope, her arms and legs flailing like jelly. She laid motionless at the base of the slope as rescue crews rushed in, performing CPR on the snow. Margot Simond was pronounced dead at the scene. She was only 18, a national champion with her whole career ahead of her. Margot Simond's death became a haunting reminder of how fragile the line is between mastery and danger. How one run, one slip, can change everything. Sergei Chalibashvili. It was 1983 in Edmonton, Canada. Students gather for the Summer Universiade, a global competition where the world's best student athletes were invited to compete. In the lineup stood Sergei Chalibashvili, a 21-year-old diver from Tbilisi, back when it was still part of the Soviet Union. He was considered one of the top platform divers, with medals already to his name and a future many predicted would reach Olympic heights. On the day of the men's 10-meter platform final, the atmosphere in the Kinsman Aquatic Center was electric. Cameras flashed, spectators leaned forward, and divers focused on their form, their entry, their moment. Sergei climbed the ladder, paused at the platform's edge, and surveyed the water 10 meters below. The approach was routine, but this time it was more than just a dive. That day, he was attempting a reverse 3.5 somersault tuck, one of the hardest dives in competition, hoping to secure first place in the 10-meter event. He took a breath, stepped back, and jumped. But midair, his rotation went off. His body tilted too far back, and before anyone could react, his head struck the platform. The haunting sound echoed through the arena. He hit the water motionless, blood surfacing as lifeguards dove in. The audience stood frozen as medics pulled him from the pool and rushed him to the hospital. Sergei never regained consciousness. A week later, he was pronounced dead, just 21 years old. Sergei put everything on the line, risked it all, but in the end, a single miscalculation took his life.